Christine and Tim.
Christine Sofran Nitim.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me again for another live webinar Wednesday. And we're going to dive right into this conversation because this one, get a lot of questions around this and especially a lot of frustration. So first and foremost, by introduction, my name is Christine and Tim. I'm your host for our weekly webinar Wednesdays, where I come on live each week for about 30 minutes or less to share insights, strategies to help you scale your business and personal brand online. I love to talk about these topics. I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm a 3-time CEO. I've built multiple businesses over the past decade, and I've succeeded in so many different facets that you deem successful, whether it's being able to scale to millions in revenue, working with some of the most powerful institutions in the world, being featured in multiple media outlets, wherever stretch of the imagination of success you could think of. I am so blessed and privileged to leverage upon my experiences as an entrepreneur to bring these thought leadership conversations to you. So if you're tired of the bullshit, tired of outdated advice on how to actually build a profitable business that makes an impact and a personal brand that leaves a mark, then you're in the right place. I'm here for you. Christine and Tim is in the building. Let's get started on this conversation, which is the problem that you have. People get pissed off at me when they talk about this all the time. You've optimized your photo. You did the headline. You are posting almost every single day, but nothing's happening. You're not getting leads. You're not getting opportunities. You're not getting DMs. And I see that people get frustrated because they feel like they're doing all the right things. And the whole, I know on YouTube, you get all these different headlines like, how to turn your LinkedIn into a lead generation machine. And you feel like you're just losing out here, right? But in this webinar, I'm going to share with you how to fix it. There's certain things that you might be doing. And I didn't realize this until probably 2-3 years ago, that I had a great profile in terms of showcasing my expertise, my accomplishments, my career transformation, but not optimized for conversion. And guys, I'm really thinking this session is gonna blow your mind on the simple things you could do to turn your LinkedIn profile into a lead generation converting machine. Okay, so first things first. Don't think that because you look highly accomplished, and I'm going to say this straight off the bat because I know LinkedIn, there's a lot of jokes around this where people are just constantly, it's such a pleasure to be featured on Forbes, or it's such a pleasure to be doing this. And there's so many memes around LinkedIn being a place where just people just regurgitate like how brilliant they are. And sorry, like it is a part of the game. Everyone is doing it. But simply put, I want to make this very, very blunt and honest with you guys that hopefully you're not thinking that because you might look highly accomplished and have all the awards and affiliations and career credibility that's going to convert to clients. And partnership and brand deals. In fact, sometimes that might even repel opportunities because for some reason, sometimes stakeholders and clients might think that they can't collaborate with you because you feel like maybe too accomplished or you might be a difficult person to work with. And it's so funny for me to blatantly start off by saying this, but sometimes your credibility might be working against you if you don't give people an invitation with that credibility. Does that make sense? Right? So you could be a doctor, but are you an approachable doctor? You could be a lawyer, but are you an approachable lawyer? You could be a 5-time a heavy guru champion like Anthony Joshua, but are you approachable? Do you smile? Do you talk? Do you want to reach out to people? Do you want to collaborate? Right. So you got to give people an invitation to your world, not just a showcase of your world, if that makes sense. Right. So this is what you have to do to really, think about when it comes to me guiding you on how to optimize your profile. Because when people are able to decide to work with you, you got to make it clear what the process will look like. So that way, like, not only that you're open to collaborations, but you are efficient enough on how to receive invitations to do so. Okay. So let's start with 5 things that need to happen immediately, because I'm going to dive right into this because this is a 30-minute session or less, right? The first thing with your LinkedIn that you got to look at is your headline. The headline, like literally what it does, it outlines whether you are worth talking to. It's the visibility factor. And I talk about this a lot, that your headline should not be the CEO of XYZ organization. No one gives a flying, oh my God. Like no one cares, okay? Get to the point and tell us who you serve, what you do, and why you do it. So that way, if the person is looking for someone who's a LinkedIn branding expert or entrepreneurship expert like myself, right? They're going to like, or business strategies, right? They're going to know like, oh, I help entrepreneurs succeed online, right? Tell us that's what you do in your headline. So that way I know like, okay, I could pay attention to your profile. That's the first thing. The second thing is the about section. Now, this is the most boring part of everybody's profile. I can't stress this enough. I'm also a culprit of this, where you just tell us your biological, chronological order of events in your life, which I don't really care about. Like your bio is insignificant to me. What you should be telling people is a story of how you got to what you do, because your headline is telling them who you serve. And the about section is really drilling down the connecting themes of how they could work with you based on that storyline, right? So usually in my about section, I have the story of like, it's like an introduction to my world. Hi, I'm Christina Tim. This is what I do. This is why I do it. This is where you can find me. And here are the best ways to collaborate with me. 1, 2, and 3. Boom. It's also what I have as my signature on my weekly newsletter, right? So this is a very important section, because it's like, when you go to a networking event and someone asks you, what do you do? This is a section. And I guarantee you, when you start telling people, well, I grew up, I was born in this year, and then I grew up here. Like, it's like, that's what you're doing with your LinkedIn profile. And we want to stop and prevent ourselves from doing that. So your about section, this by far, even right now, I'm re-updating my about section to reflect the new narrative that I have for the work that I'm doing this year. And boy, oh boy, I did not realize how much of a graveyard structure I had for my about section. I was literally losing out on so many opportunities just because of my about section alone. The third thing is your feature section. This is crucial. This is where you put the links and call to actions so it's visible, because people need to see things several times before they're like, oh, you're really serious about this. Because at this point, you are reinforcing the same message 3 times in your headline, your about, and your featured. And in your feature section, you're going to tell people how they can work with you. So that includes paid options. This is how you monetize your brand immediately, monetize your LinkedIn profile immediately. This is where you tell people specifically how to work with you. So I'm going to show this example in a second here. But in my feature section, I have one post is my consulting bookings. One post is my coaching client booking information, and then one is for speaking engagements. These are 3 ways I've monetized my brand, but also 3 ways that people could immediately collaborate with me in a premium way, where they get access to my brain, my know-how, my resources, whatever. They get to dive into my world beyond the generic face off of just LinkedIn and social media. Okay, that's in my feature session. Usually I see people sometimes have 1, 2, 3 max of ways to collaborate. Easy to do. You can do this right now. Okay. And the experience session, again, I'm reinforcing it. This tells people the traction and testimonials and proof of what you do. This is where you put your portfolio. If you're a global speaker, I see so many people, they put speaker in their profile, but they don't have a section in the experience that says that they're a speaker, and photos, images, videos, or even their signature talk highlighted in that section. So you have to have an experience put down on your experience section pertaining to where you are giving value. So if this is consulting, show me the consulting practice, whether it's your own one that you do ad hoc or whether you're doing it for a client or an institution. Make sure to put that there so it's easy to find. And then this is the part that people are doing that The first 4 things I said is actually more important. Activities that reinforce 1 through 4. And 1 through 4 was headline that outlines who you are. Second was the about section. Third was the feature section. Fourth is the experience section. And the activities are reinforcing that, such as live weekly webinars. I say that I help entrepreneurs scale their business and personal brands. Look what I'm doing right now. I'm having a live weekly session talking about topics or challenges that might be affecting your success to make sure that you are successful in this endeavor, right? Your social media posts. I post all the time about how I built my brand, what I'm doing. I even live what I talk about. Like I showcase my journey online, my newsletters, right? Everything that I do, the activity is reinforcing steps 1 to 4. What happens is a lot of people don't do steps 1 to 4, but they're doing the activities and wonder why people are confused. So what happens, you do the activities, you're doing the weekly webinars, you're doing the social media feeds, you're doing the posts, you're doing the this, you're doing the that, but no one knows what to do once they get to your page. You're confused, right? So 1 to 4 is the foundation that you need so people can know what to do. Okay? That's it. That's it. So with that said, I think what I'm going to do now, I want to share my screen and share with you my LinkedIn profile, okay? So that way you can understand, practically speaking, how I optimize my LinkedIn page, because seeing is believing, right? So 1 second here. Let's share my screen. So, by the way, comment notes if you want access to the session notes from today, okay? I'm not a big PowerPoint girl anymore. Like, I think that is overrated. I usually just document my notes in bullet form from the session every week. And so if you want access, just comment notes and our team will DM it to you, okay? So here's my LinkedIn profile. So as stated before, my headline, before I even put CEO or anything like that, because it's already in my experience, I put helping founders launch scalable startups and personal brands online. If someone's looking for that solution, boom, I'm their girl, okay? And I reinforce it in my banner. But again, my headline is tight. It tells you what to do, and my experiences come after. 3-time CEO, keynote speaker, entrepreneur, tech ecosystem builder, bow, bow, bow. I'm shooting bullets. But the point is, my title is very, very clear. Helping founders launch scalable startups and personal brands online. I get straight to the point, okay? Now, if you scroll down my about section, I did not update it. I'm updating this tomorrow, but I wanted to share with you an example that doesn't work, which is your about section being your bio, your traditional bio, and not a storyline of what you do. And also an easy way for people to know how to work with you. So I have access to my newsletter. I have my email, direct email outlined there. I make it so easy to contact me. That is your about section. Feature section. Remember what I told you, right? Mine is very clear. So I have, usually when I'm doing live events or trainings, that's usually the first one in the feature. So this is time sensitive. That's why you see my 7-day personal brand reinvention challenge is highlighted there. People are already commenting and engaging with it. So it's first thing that people see when they come on my page. But look, right there, second, there's booking 101 consulting session. And the third one is my speaking engagements, how to book me for speaking engagements. Okay. That is in my feature. Again, usually one is rotating for live things, that activations or campaigns that I'm doing, but usually consistently is my consulting, booking sessions, or my coaching programs and my speaking engagements. Okay. So that is my feature section. Drilling down to my activities. Remember, these activities that I'm doing do not matter if 1 to 4 is not done, which is the headline, the about section, feature section, okay, and experience section. That's why these activities are now relevant, because I actually optimized for performance. So if you see my activities, I'm very active. I have a newsletter. I do post articles, but probably the biggest activation that I do is weekly webinars and live videos, because I love to share wisdom. I love to teach. So it fits my persona. Some people might be social media posts. Some people might be blog articles, but this is my thing. And so this is why I have on my page as my activities. And then under experience, I want you to take a note here. Okay. Under experience, I got obviously chief executive officer at the Global Startup Ecosystem, which is, I am a 3-time founder. So this is one of my companies, right? But I actually outline my experience as a speaker under my personal brand, which is incorporated, speaker, coach, corporate trainer. Those are the 3 services that I offer. under my personal brand. And I have, see the portfolio, it has my speaker one pager and images of previous events that I've spoken at, such as the World Bank, the United Nations, the YMCA, places that I've headlined at, and then keep reinforcing that. So again, if you want people to believe in your credibility, you got to continuously reinforce it as much as possible. Okay. So with that said, that is the information that you will need regarding how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. What else can I share with you? So with that said, obviously, once you do all these things that I shared with you during this call, you might be confused as to like, how do I word it? What do I say? Is this going to take a long time? I always tell people done is better than perfect. If you really take a stab at doing these 4 things that I shared with you today, it probably will take you no more than an hour to do this. Okay. No more than an hour. And here's how I'll break it down. Start with really sitting down, thinking about your value proposition statement, which is what's going to be on your title. So right now you might have the CEO of XYZ organization for your title. What I want you to do is come online and say like, look, I want to serve women entrepreneurs and I want to help them launch farms, right? So tell us, helping women entrepreneurs to launch farms or to build home gardens or find life balance through gardening, right? It's very clear and sync. Update that title. Just do that and commit to that. Some of you might say, well, I might be evolving. I might try something new. I might do something different. That's great. That is the story of life. We are always going to grow and evolve. But right now, in this time and place, you got to make a decision as to who you want to serve, what you want to do, and why you want to do it, right? Let's make decisions in 2025, okay? So for all you people who are scatterbrained and saying like, oh, I don't know, there's so many things I'm interested in, decide. And everything else becomes a parking lot, okay? So for me, I got multiple talents, multiple audiences I could be serving, but this is the audience I feel that I'm called to serve right now, and that's why I put out there, okay? And reinforce that. So that's the first thing. Second, let's get into your about section. You have your bio, scrap it. Let's look at the story of getting to this. So like, where did you begin your journey? Why are you doing this? And what are 3 different ways to work with you? And it could be bullets. Follow me for more information on LinkedIn. Follow my newsletter. Book a consultant one-on-one session to me. Book me to speak at your event. Tell people what they could do and make it easy for them to follow you and give them their email address, right? Break down and do that. Third, update your experiences. Please make sure to put the information there of whatever you feel like your thought leadership is as a speaker, corporate trainer, whatever it is, and put it there so people can find it and see the portfolio and traction and proof of concepts. And last but not least, which is by far my favorite section of the profile, is the feature section where it's links and call to action for whatever the person deems is what they need. They're able to do this. Now, obviously, I said put the paid options there, but you can also have free options. Maybe you have a free one-on-one consulting session. Maybe it's your newsletter that you want to drive traffic to. The point is the feature section is where they saw the commercial with your headline and your about section. Now they want to take action. And the feature section is like, hey, this is where you make your purchase. This is where you make your action. Okay. The commercial has led to a landing. Okay. So that's what you want to have on your profile to make it easier to really engage with your audiences as they come to your LinkedIn profile. Ultimately, the entire goal of today's session is really to just reinforce to you that it's not about having a stunning profile, okay, that showcases, and these are my notes from today's session, so that way you could have a visual if you want to take a screenshot from today, okay? Like, it's really not about, looking just accomplished, because again, I think people miss the point what LinkedIn does. What you're trying to tell people is you're trying to turn LinkedIn into your landing page. You're trying to get traffic coming to that. And believe me, if you're active on LinkedIn, you're getting traffic. On average per month, people are getting at least 1,000 people come to their LinkedIn profile, engaging with them. So you are doing the steps to get visibility. What you want to do is turn that visibility into opportunity. And the best way to do that, again, last but not least, I'm going to say it one more time, is to make it easier for people to work with you and know what to do when they're ready to engage. So hopefully you find today's session helpful. I know I had a great time engaging with all of you on today's session. Of course, if you have any questions on how to monetize your personal brand, work with me in the future, comment personal brand. My team will follow up on ways that you could join the personal brand 7-day challenge. It's a really great opportunity. I can even probably share it on the screen right now for you to really reinvent yourself and get yourself out there, because all of this I'm sharing with you is all about personal branding. Okay. And how to optimize your brand for digital traffic, right? So let me share a screen here and get this back up. Okay. So let me give you some information on that. So I am hosting, obviously, the personal brand 7-day personal brand reinvention challenge. I invite all of you to come on a journey. And again, it's no fluff, no bias, no nonsense. It's literally everything you need to know on how to build a globally purpose-driven 6-figure personal brand online. I'm so excited about the 7-day personal brand challenge because it is literally my entire journey of expertise condensed into 7 days to walk you through how to map out your entire personal brand journey and across your entire career. So I am pumped and stoked for this. So I invite you, comment personal brand in the comments, and we will send you a link to join this. It is free. It's, again, my give back to my community of all the frustrations I've ever had around BS expertise around personal branding. That stops today. You're going to get everything you need from this session. So without further ado, sign up, comment personal brand, and you'll be good to go. So looking forward to seeing you there. And thank you for joining me for another Webinar Wednesday, guys. Bye. Welcome everyone to the Personal Brand Accelerator Program. We're going to talk about really the who, what, when, where, how of personal branding. Personal branding in many ways is an ongoing process, right? Because you are practicing, you're developing, you're manifesting yourself over time as you grow and develop as a person within your career. Today, we're transitioning from the personal branding fundamentals to now building your personal branding foundation, right? You can't position yourself for opportunity unless you understand your motivations and what is your capacity. Now, at the very beginning, you should always be experimenting with your brand and engaging with the world, just trying to find out, okay, what experiments do you need to run to see where you need to be? There are a million different ways to make money with your personal brand, but you either got to do what is your biggest strength right now, right? Or you do where the most resources are available. A lot of people, when they're trying to monetize their personal brand, they focus on bucket 4 and 5, right? Where they're working with people to get speaking engagements, contracts. You're doing a lot of external activities to get that clout from the community to pay you for certain works. A lot of times people confuse marketing and sales to be the same thing, right? This is the reason why a lot of people, they have a personal brand. Let's say they got as far as they create a free or paid product like a course or a retreat or a session, and they're putting it out there. They're quote unquote marketing it. They're promoting it. They're blasting it, but they're not monetizing. They're not making money. And part of the reason why is because they did not combine their marketing strategy with their sales strategy. But I could give you all the systems all day long, but it's up to you to turn it into a routine. And that does require checklists. It does require you really having the discipline to execute on that routine. So much has happened over the past couple of weeks. You have learned so much from start to finish. The best way I could end this is by saying that, look, like a lot of people wait their entire life to try to figure this out. You have the unique opportunity where you have this content for life, right? You have this journey for life where you are now given a blueprint to constantly keep upping your brand, keep accelerating your career, keep creating value, and also creating multiple streams of income for yourself in addition to any of the fundamental work that you do.